purveyors of new tech are always going to get caught up in a catch-22 situation. Anyone remembering that Kevin Costner movie can relate to the worries of manufacturing companies. If we build it, will they come? And so it is with virtual reality headsets as we take a good look at the Valve Index, the people behind the Half-Life Saga and Team Fortress. It costs around the £1,000 mark, making it somewhat problematic. The Valve Index is without a doubt utterly sensational with the quality it produces inside of VR games, but there is still that price and a shortage of a plethora of top-notch titles even on Steam. Not enough people were playing VR, simple as that. More people play VR, more games will be made. Now there is absolutely no doubt in the world that this works. Put the index on and you may as well be in this new world being presented to you, but it will cost you £1,000 and then some more biggish bucks to have a PC to drive it all. Unfortunately, that means you've got to have a pretty hefty budget behind you to get yourself up and running. But if you are someone that's lucky enough to find yourself in that situation, then you can expect to receive an enormous box that's got a staggeringly slick design. Inside this box is the fully adjustable headset thanks to the Velcro head strap and rear dial that tightens the headset to your face. There's 3 cables hardwired to the actual headset itself. One is a USB 3.0 for the headset cameras and the other goes into your graphics card's display port, while the third goes into power, so you need to be close to a power outlet. You don't need a HDMI cable per se, though plug your monitor or TV into an HDMI port from your graphics card or motherboard and others in the room can see what the player is seeing, which is a very nice feature. Do take note, the cable from the headset to the desktop is only 5 meters long as well, so you are limited on how far you can be from the actual desktop to the headset itself. Now the headset is extremely comfortable to use, weighing in at around 800 grams, and I've never really felt any kind of pressure from the weight on my head. The only fatigue I found was with my eyes, but that was only after extended periods of play. For the whole thing to work, you need to place the 2 included satellite radar receivers either side of your play area, which in turn will pick up the sensors of the controllers and the headset. Now both sensors do need power, so ensure you've got power outlets close by to these things. We can't help but notice the actual satellites do have an audible whine to them. There's no worries while you're playing, but you would not want to leave them switched on in a very quiet room. The actual sensors themselves are compatible with Steam VR 2.0 and they do a superb job of tracking you in your play area. It's a bit of a shame that something like this still uses sensors to detect movement, but I was extremely impressed at how accurate they were inside of games. I never experienced any dropped connections either. So the controllers themselves, which have been branded knuckle controllers due to the plastic that surrounds your hands, needs to be charged from the box. Now the cables are supplied, but they do use USB Type-C connectivity and are compatible with fast charging from a mobile phone plug. Now once these are fully charged, they are ready to go for about 8 hours of game time. Now I would say they are fairly sturdy, but they are extremely light as well. I wouldn't go throwing them around a room. There is an adjustable hand strap just at the bottom here. You can click this button and you can tighten the actual controllers to your hands and they are now not going anywhere. When you first set up the Index, you'll need to go through an initial setup process. Follow all of the steps on screen, which included running through some pretty long updates. You can't skip them, by the way. Your stuff needs to update. And you also need to trace out your play area. After you've done this, you'll be good to jump into your downloaded games. Now, as soon as you fire up Steam VR, you are placed in a very stylish room, which is worth exploring on its own. Now, one wall has all of your available Steam games, which you'll have already downloaded. You'll see a list of recent VR games that you have downloaded, but you can dive into the actual Steam app to purchase new titles and download them inside of the Steam VR app, rather than taking off the headset and using a mouse and keyboard. Now, if you have never used a VR system before, the first time you put this headset on can be a major shock to your balance system. You can literally walk around, and if you ignore your traced out safety zone, which is clearly marked on screen with a blue warning grid, there is a good chance you are going to collide with some of your furniture or even walls. On the actual headset itself, there is a sliding control on the underside that alters the width of the dual element lenses so you can easily pick the right position for you, and do get this right, otherwise you'll get a blurry image. And there is also a dial on the left hand side that opens up the field of vision to up to 130 degrees, which is, to be honest with you, breathtaking in itself and a major improvement over the other VR headsets on the market. Now do be cautious though, this could play tricks on your brain. It did with mine at first, and those susceptible to motion sickness may feel a little bit uneasy. Now, the dual element factor inside the headset also provides better edge-to-edge focus and clarity, which also allows you to look around with just your eyes rather than having to move your head itself. Sound is delivered through the built-in adjustable ear speakers. Stick them up close to the ears and you'll hear nothing in the real world, including warnings from friends and family that you're about to march into a wall. They are very loud, I must admit, but definitely add to the immersion of the game you are playing. The quality isn't bad either, so for example the music in Beat Saber was very punchy and very clear, while cutscenes and characters talking to me in Half-Life Alyx was very present and I could hear every word spoken. So to be perfectly honest with you, playing with the Valve Index gets the adrenaline going for sure, especially in more action-packed titles or even horror games. And because of this, a player may sweat. It's a normal human function. We all do it. And a nice touch though is the magnetic removable eyepiece, which can then be easily wiped down or even replaced. Now, I don't 100% know if you can buy spares, but it would be a nice idea because if you are a heavy VR user, I can see this eyepiece, I'll take it off for you now. I can see this eyepiece getting a little bit worn out. So let's talk through some tech specs. Each eye can see a resolution of 2880 by 1600 combined with a display refresh rate of 120Hz and an experimental 144Hz mode. Now to compare, the closest price headset to this is the HTC Cosmos, which will give you a 2880 by 1700 pixels combined resolution and a 90Hz refresh rate. So you do lose out on that super smooth action with the Vive Cosmos. The field of vision on the Valve Index is a deeply impressive 130 degrees, while the Cosmos comes in at 110 degrees. Both headsets mentioned here have audio supplied by internal off-ear speakers, and there is a built-in microphone for some multiplayer fun. And to keep the chances of barfing while playing to an absolute minimum, Valve say that the displays have a reduced illumination period of 0.33 milliseconds to 0.53 milliseconds, which is frame rate dependent, allowing imagery to remain just as sharp when your head is in motion as when you're standing still. They say that this is a 5 times improvement over first generation PC VR HMDs. Now, I have to just come out and say that everyone of all ages needs to sample this quality of VR. The immersion is truly breathtaking. The biggest problem is its price at the moment, sitting at £1,000 or just under, I think, on the Steam listings at the time of making this video. So it is very, very expensive. Plus you have to have a gaming PC to go with it. And of course, there is the problem with VR games. There just aren't that many. And to be perfectly honest with you, the VR games that are available, there are a couple of really big ones, like Boneworks is pretty cool for its immersion and its interaction with objects in the games. Half-Life Alyx is wicked as well because it's a full narrative experience, but most of the other VR titles at the moment very much feel like experiences. For it to get, it's almost, as I said at the beginning, it's like a catch-22 situation. For it to get better, people need to start investing, but people won't start investing because of the price of VR being at £1,000 a headset. There are cheaper headsets on the market as well you can go for, but something like this is £1,000 and people just aren't going to start paying that money. Yes, it's absolutely amazing. You will not regret buying one. Just be warned that there is a lack of content out there for VR. So that's my conclusion. It's awesome, but there's no content. So we just got to wait for more games to come out, and then VR will just be completely unstoppable, and you get some decent quality as well. Thank you very much for checking out our video review of the Valve Index VR headset. If you enjoyed this review, then click that like button. Please subscribe to keep up with our latest tech and gaming videos, and also let us know in the comments down below if you've got one of these, if you would buy one of these, or you would go for a cheaper alternative. Let us know in the comments below what you think, and also leave us some feedback on this review as well. As I said, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.